Good evening or morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kai from the Welsh Treasures YouTube channel, and today I've got a very exciting find. I got three things today, and I'll be making a video about both of them. Now, this video is about one of the best ones I found. So this is the M15 Adrian helmet, used by the French in World War One. Yes, it was first issued during World War One. So this video, I'm going to be telling you a bit of the history behind it, and when it was issued, stuff like that. But first, I just want to show it off a bit. So normally there'd be a badge there that has been taken off, and there's no liner inside, but still an exciting find. Now, I'll give you a quick summary of it. So the M15 Adrian helmet was a combat helmet issued by the French army during World War One. It was the first standard helmet of the French army and was designed when millions of French troops were engaged in trench warfare, and head wounds from falling shrapnel generated by the new technique of indirect fire became a frequent cause of battlefield casualties. Now, introduced in 1915, it was the first modern steel helmet, and it served as the basic helmet of many armies well into the 1930s. Initially issued to infantry soldiers, in modified form, they were also issued to cavalry and tank crews. A subsequent version, the M26, was used during World War II. So this, I don't think this was the World War One version. I think which was the M26. So I think this might have been the Second World War one. Is this either First World War, which was the M15 Adrian helmet, or the M26? I would possibly guess maybe M15. So, at the outbreak of World War One in August 1914, in the outbreak of World War One in August 1914, soldiers in the French army wore the standard kepi cap, which provided no protection against injury. The early stages of trench warfare proved that even basic protection of the head would result in a significantly lower mortality rate among frontline soldiers. By the beginning of 1915, a rudimentary steel skull cap was being issued to be worn under the kepi. Consequently, the French staff ordered development of the metal helmet that could protect soldiers from the shrapnel exploding artillery shells. Since soldiers in trenches were also vulnerable to shrapnel exploding above their heads, a deflector crest was added to the helmet's axis. A branch insignia in form of a grenade for the line infantry and cavalry, a bugle horn for chasseurs, crossed cannon for artillery, and an anchor for colonial troops, and a crescent for North African units was attached to the front, which would have been around here. Contrary to common misconception, the M15 helmet was not designed to protect the wearer from direct impact by rifle or machine gun bullets. The resulting headgear was credited to Intendant General Auguste Louis Adrien. The helmet adopted by the army was made of mild steel, only weighed about 0.765 kilograms, 1 pound 11 ounces, which made it lighter and less protective than the contemporary British Brodie helmet and German Stahlhelm. The helmet was also very easy to make. Orders were placed for the helmets in the spring of 1915 and started being issued by July. By September, all frontline troops in France were issued with the helmet. From late 1915, a cloth cover for the helmet was issued in khaki or light blue to prevent reflection. However, it was found that the helmet was pierced by shell splinters. Pieces of dirty cloth were carried into the wound, which increased the risk of infection. Consequently, in mid-1916, an order was issued that the cover should be discarded. By the end of World War One, the Adrian helmet has been issued to almost all infantry units fighting in the French army. It was also used by some of the American divisions fighting in France, and the Polish forces of Haller's Blue Army. The French Gendarmerie Mobile adopted a dark blue version in 1926, and continued to wear it into the 1960s, well after the regular army had discarded it. The helmet proved to be fairly effective against shrapnel, but it was cheap and easy to manufacture. As a consequence, more than 20 million Adrian helmets were produced. They were widely adopted by other countries including Belgium, Brazil, China, Greece, Italy, including licensed-built versions, Japan, Luxembourg, Mexico, Morocco, Peru, Poland, Romania, Russia, Serbia, Spain, Sham, and the United States, USSR, and Yugoslavia. Each of these nations adding its own insignia to the front of the helmet. However, because the new steel helmets offered little protection against actual bullets, they were reportedly among the first pieces of equipment to be abandoned by soldiers on the battlefield. It was also discovered that the badge placed on the front of the helmets impaired the strength of the helmet because of the 2 slots required. The perceived weakness made several armies remove their national insignia altogether. Early helmets were painted horizon blue, light blue-grey, for the French troops and khaki colonial forces. Those made after 1935 are usually painted khaki, reflecting the French army movement to the more camouflage uniform in the 1930s. In 1926, the Adrian helmet was modified, being constructed of stronger steel and simplified by having the main part of the helmet stamped from one piece of metal and therefore without joining rim against the helmet, like characterises the M15. The large ventilation under the comb, which had been a weak point of the old design, was also replaced with a series of small holes. The M26 helmet continued in use with the French army until World War II and was used by the French police up to the 1970s. During the interwar period, Belgium began to produce their own domestically made M26 Adrians and exported them around the globe. These helmets can be distinguished from their French counterparts because they have a slightly different comb and a wider rim. In other countries, Adrian-type helmets were also used in firefighting units, railway guards or marine infantry, e.g. Japan's SNLF. Adrian helmets are still prized by collectors today in 1940. In 1940, Mexico began to produce M26 helmets locally after shipments from France stopped due to German occupation. A crestless version was produced in small numbers as well. Now, in December 15, Winston Churchill, later to become Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1940 to 1945, while serving as a major with the British Army's Grenadier Guards, was presented with an Adrian helmet by the French General Émile Fayolle. He is seen wearing it in photographs and painted in a portrait by Sir John Lavery. So this was just a quick video about the helmet itself. So like I said, there's no line inside. So what I might be doing is I might see if I can start a possible restoration video and have a step-by-step with it. Add the insignia, clean up a bit and add a liner. So that kind of hurts because there's no liner in. So this is what it would be like. But I'd like to say a big thank you for watching. Me and Oscar love the support for the videos, and we'll hopefully see you next time.